Welcome to our core module on analytics and performance tracking. In the world of digital marketing, data is the compass that guides every successful campaign, moving us away from guesswork and toward precision. This session is designed to demystify how we measure success by showing you how to transform raw numbers into actionable insights. We will begin by exploring the fundamental key performance indicators, or KPIs, that actually matter for your business goals, whether that is increasing brand awareness or driving direct sales. You will learn the difference between vanity metrics, those high numbers that look good on paper but don't impact your bottom line, and actionable metrics that tell you exactly where your strategy needs to pivot. We'll also take a deep dive into industry standard tools like Google Analytics and social media insights to understand user behavior, mapping out the journey a customer takes from their very first click to the final conversion. In this section, we dive into the core of analytics and performance tracking, which is the vital process of measuring, analyzing, and optimizing your marketing performance to ensure every dollar spent is working for you. We will focus specifically on Meta Ads reports, a powerful tool that allows you to see exactly how your ads are performing in real time, providing immediate feedback on your creative and targeting choices. To access these insights, you'll need to navigate through a specific path in your dashboard. Start at Meta Ads Manager, go to Campaigns, select the Columns drop-down, and finally click on Customize Columns to tailor the data to your specific business needs. Mastering this workflow is essential for any digital marketer, as it transforms raw data into the strategic insights necessary for scaling successful campaigns and cutting underperforming ones before they drain your budget. In this session, we are focusing on the key sections in Meta Ads reports, specifically looking at delivery metrics which help us understand how often and to whom our content is being displayed. The first metric to track is impressions, which represents the total number of times your ads were shown on a screen. Next, we look at reach, which differs from impressions because it measures the specific number of unique users who saw your ad. Finally, we analyze frequency, which is the average number of times your ad was shown to each of those unique users. It is important to monitor this closely, as the ideal frequency for most campaigns typically falls between 1.5 and 3. Staying within this range ensures your brand remains top of mind without causing ad fatigue by overshowing the same content to the same audience. Moving into the engagement metrics section of our Meta Ads reports, we shift our focus from how many people saw the ad to how they actually interacted with it. This is where we measure the stickiness of our content through several key data points, starting with clicks, which we categorize into both all clicks and specific link clicks to understand general interest versus intent to visit our landing page. We also closely monitor the click-through rate, center, a vital percentage that tells us how compelling our creative is by comparing clicks to total impressions. For those of you running video content, video views will be your primary indicator of how well you're capturing attention in a crowded feed. Finally, we look at social signals, likes, comments, and shares, which not only build social proof but also provide a clear picture of how much your audience resonates with the message you're putting out. In this final segment of our look into Meta Ads reports, we focus on cost metrics, which are essential for determining the financial efficiency and overall health of your digital marketing campaigns. We begin with CPC, or cost per click, which helps us understand how much we are paying every time a user is curious enough to engage with our ad. Next, we analyze the cost per result, a critical metric that measures the price of achieving your specific campaign objective, whether that's a lead, a sale, or a registration. Finally, we look at CPM, or cost per 1,000 impressions, which gives us a baseline for how expensive the inventory is in our chosen target market. By monitoring these costs in real time through the Meta dashboard, you can make informed decisions on how to scale your budget effectively and ensure your marketing efforts remain profitable. In this final lesson on Meta Ads reporting, we focus on the ultimate objective of most marketing campaigns, conversion metrics. These data points allow us to measure concrete business outcomes, specifically tracking high-value actions such as leads, purchases, and add-to-cart events. By monitoring your conversion rate, you can determine how effectively your landing page and offer are turning interested visitors into actual customers. It is important to remember that these advanced insights are not available by default. Tracking these metrics strictly requires the Meta Pixel or Conversion API to be correctly installed on your website to bridge the gap between ad interactions and off-platform actions. By mastering these reports, you move beyond simple engagement and gain the ability to prove the direct impact of your advertising spend on your company's bottom line. Welcome to our session on Essential Tracking Tools. Today, we're diving into Google Analytics, the industry standard platform for understanding exactly how users interact with your digital presence. As the slide indicates, Google Analytics is designed to track website user behavior, though it's important to note the distinction mentioned here between Google's ecosystem and tools like Meta Pixel or Conversion API, which focus specifically on the Facebook and Instagram advertising environment. We are currently utilizing GA4, which represents a massive shift from previous versions because it is entirely event-based. This means instead of just looking at page loads, GA4 looks at every single action, a click, a scroll, or a video play, as a unique event, giving you a much richer map of the customer journey. When we look at what Google Analytics actually tracks, we start with traffic sources to see if people are finding you through organic search, paid ads, or social media. In this segment of our digital marketing curriculum, we are exploring the Google Analytics 4 interface, specifically focusing on the reports section, which serves as the command center for your data analysis. To access these insights, you navigate from the main GA4 dashboard directly into the Reports tab to reveal 4 critical pillars of user data. First, we look at acquisition, which tells the story of how users are discovering your website and which marketing channels are driving the most traffic. Next is engagement, where we measure how people actually interact with your content, looking at what they click on and how long they stay. We then move to monetization, a vital area for any business as it tracks revenue, purchase patterns, and the overall financial performance of your digital platform. In this stage of our digital marketing class, we shift our focus to the key Google Analytics metrics, specifically looking at acquisition. As we navigate through the GA4 interface by going into the Reports section, we encounter 4 core reporting pillars: acquisition, monetization, engagement, and retention. Today, we are deep diving into the acquisition metrics, which serve as the foundation for understanding your traffic flow. We begin by looking at users, which represents the unique individuals visiting your site, and sessions, which tracks the total number of visits they initiate. To understand the quality of this traffic, we analyze the source, medium, to see exactly where your visitors are coming from, whether it's a specific search engine or a referring website. In this stage of our digital marketing class, we shift our focus to the key Google Analytics metrics, specifically looking at engagement. To find these insights within the GA4 interface, you will navigate to the Reports section, where engagement stands as one of the 4 essential reporting pillars alongside acquisition, monetization, and retention. Engagement metrics are vital because they reveal how users are actually interacting with your content once they arrive. We begin by analyzing the engagement rate, which tells us the percentage of sessions that were actually interactive, followed by events, which track specific actions like clicks or downloads. We also closely monitor average engagement time to understand the duration of user attention and page views to see which specific pages are drawing the most interest. Moving into the final and most critical phase of our Google Analytics overview, we are focusing on conversion metrics, which represent the ultimate success of your digital marketing efforts. To track these effectively in GA4, you must navigate through the Events menu and manually select Mark as Conversion for the specific actions that drive value for your business. These key conversions typically include tracking new leads generated, completed purchases for e-commerce sites, and successful form submissions from contact or registration pages. By designating these specific events as conversions, you enable GA4 to provide high-level insights into which marketing channels and user behaviors are actually contributing to your bottom line. In this final segment of our Google Analytics deep dive, we are focusing on a critical bridge for any cross-channel marketer: connecting Meta ads with Google Analytics. While Meta provides its own data, it is essential to track your Facebook and Instagram traffic within the GA ecosystem to see how those users interact with your entire site. To do this accurately, we use UTM parameters, small snippets of code added to the end of your URLs that act as digital tracking tags. As shown in our example, by defining the source as Facebook, the medium as paid, and the campaign name as Ledgen, you tell Google Analytics exactly which ad brought the user to your page. This level of detail allows you to compare the performance of your social media spend against organic or search traffic, ensuring you can prove the true ROI of your advertising budget and optimize your funnels based on actual cross-platform behavior. Welcome to today's session on a fundamental pillar of digital strategy: key performance indicators, or KPIs. As the name suggests, a KPI is a measurable value that demonstrates how effectively a company is achieving its key business objectives. In the world of digital marketing, we don't just guess if a campaign is working. We use these metrics to quantify success and guide our future decisions. When we look at the most important digital marketing KPIs, we can categorize them into 4 primary areas that follow the customer journey. First, we have awareness KPIs, which tell us how many people are seeing our brand through metrics like impressions and reach. Next, we move to traffic KPIs, which measure how effectively we are driving that audience to our website or landing pages. When we talk about launching a digital marketing campaign, the first question we must answer is, what are we actually trying to achieve? This slide highlights the critical process of KPI selection based on your specific business goals, because you cannot measure success if you are looking at the wrong numbers. Starting at the top of the funnel with brand awareness, your focus is on visibility. Here, we look at reach to see how many unique eyes saw the ad, and CPM, or cost per mil, to understand the efficiency of buying those impressions. As we move down to the traffic stage, the objective shifts from just being seen to being visited. We measure this through click-through rate, center, to see how compelling our creative is, and cost per click, CPC, to ensure we aren't overpaying for that web traffic. Once users are on our site, we often aim for leads, where the primary metrics become cost per lead, corporal, and the overall conversion rate, which tells us how effectively our landing page turns a visitor into a potential customer. In today's session, we are diving into one of the most critical metrics in digital marketing, ROI, or return on investment. Simply put, ROI measures the profitability of your marketing efforts, allowing you to see exactly how much money you're making back for every rupee spent. As you can see on the screen, the ROI formula is calculated by taking your total revenue, subtracting the cost of the campaign, and then dividing that figure by the cost itself, multiplied by 100 to get a percentage. For example, if you spend 10,000 rupees on an ad campaign and generate 30,000 rupees in revenue, your net profit is 20,000 rupees. When you divide that profit by your 10,000 rupees investment, you get an ROI of 200%, which is a fantastic result. Moving on to a real-life lead generation campaign example, we look at indicators beyond just the final profit to determine if a campaign is healthy and scalable. Here, we see a click-through rate of 2.5% and a cost per click of 12 rupees. More importantly, we are looking at a cost per lead of 80 rupees with a solid 15% conversion rate. When your conversion rate is high and your corporal remains manageable relative to your product's value, the campaign is considered healthy. Welcome back, everyone. Today we are diving into one of the most critical metrics in the digital marketing world, ROAS, which stands for return on ad spend. Essentially, ROAS is the compass that tells you if your advertising budget is actually working for you by measuring the gross revenue generated for every single rupee you spend on ads. As you can see on the screen, the formula is quite straightforward. You simply take your total revenue and divide it by your total ad spend. Let's look at the practical example provided here to see how this works in a real-world scenario. If you invest 10,000 rupees into a campaign and that specific campaign brings in 30,000 rupees in sales, your ROAS calculation would be 30,000 divided by 10,000. This gives you a ROAS of 3.0, which we often express as 300%. While there is a small typo in the example label showing 3%, the calculation below confirms the true value is a 3x return. In marketing terms, this means for every 1 rupee you put into the platform, you're getting 3 rupees back in revenue. Understanding this ratio is vital because it helps you identify which campaigns are profitable and which ones need to be paused or optimized. Now that we have our campaigns running, we move into the most critical phase of digital marketing, performance optimization using data. This is where we transition from guessing to knowing by looking at real-time metrics to guide our decisions. First, we must identify and pause low-performing ads. If an asset isn't meeting our benchmarks, we stop the spend immediately to protect our budget. Conversely, when we see campaigns with a high ROAS, or return on ad spend, we want to scale those by increasing their budget to maximize our revenue. However, keep a close eye on your frequency metrics. If the same audience sees your ad too many times, they will experience ad fatigue, leading to a drop in engagement, so you'll need to reduce frequency or refresh your content. To optimize the performance of your digital marketing campaigns, you must focus on several core pillars that drive efficiency and profitability. First, prioritize increasing your click-through rate, or center, as this is your primary indicator of engagement. A high center tells you that your creative messaging is resonating with your audience and effectively driving them toward your landing page. Simultaneously, you should work on lowering your CPC and CPM costs by improving your ad relevance and quality scores, which allows you to reach more people for every dollar spent. It is also critical to manage your budget strategically during the learning phase of an algorithm. Avoid making frequent, drastic changes during this period to allow the platform's AI to identify the most effective way to deliver your ads. Ultimately, the goal is to boost conversions and maximize your return on ad spend, or ROAS, ensuring that your marketing efforts are generating tangible revenue rather than just vanity metrics.